Why is it important to have multiple sources of income? And another thing to keep in mind is as you add income streams, some of those streams might dry up.
Yeah.
So you might have to replace income streams as well.
Yeah.
So those are, and what we would like for you to consider is, or what would be expedient to do is to add some of these income streams to your own portfolio. And many of today's economists will teach that there's 8 different income streams available in society today. We're going to go through these various income streams, how you can implement them in your portfolio. But first, we're going to talk about why it's important to have multiple income streams. Are you ready, Neil?
I'm very ready.
All right, let's go. Well, in finance, there's an important term out there called diversification. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
And what do you think it means?
It means that is to have to have different sources of income. That's how I can put it in the most simple way.
Yeah, I think a classic definition is to spread out your wealth to avoid catastrophe. For example, when people invest in the stock market, experts agree that it's better to invest in multiple companies instead of putting all your eggs into one company or one basket. Because if that company goes down, you've lost all your eggs.
Yes.
Same thing with income streams. Experts agree that it's better to have multiple sources of income just in case one of those sources goes down the drain. Unfortunately, today, a lot of people just rely on one source of income, their job. But if something goes wrong with their job or their job is deemed as non-necessary, it can cause a lot of catastrophe in people's lives. Okay, so let's go through the 8 different streams of income. Number 1, earned income. What is earned income? It's income that you've earned. It's when you put in work and someone else pays you. For example, like a typical job. People go to work, they have an employer, and that employer, after they put in some time, will pay them a paycheck. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. It's good to have multiple sources of earned income as well. Some people have 2 jobs.
Yeah.
Some people have 3 jobs. Some people have side hustles as well. In 2019 and 2020, we relied on not only my own income from my employer, but my wife had her own income through Adsense and YouTube and so forth. Do you want to explain how you actually make money from YouTube through Adsense? A lot of people might not know what Adsense means.
With Adsense is when I have a YouTube channel. If you are new, I have a YouTube channel that I already post videos on. So Adsense is when companies pay Google so that they can advertise their products in my channel. So YouTube takes a cut, I take a cut. I think I take more cut. I think I take 55% and Google takes 45%. As you guys know, Google owns YouTube. So it's the same as TV. When you're watching a movie, you'll see ad breaks all the time. So it's like that. So these companies pay the television so that they can show their ads on. So when you're watching this video, you may find an ad, and please make sure you check that ad up. So that's how I get paid.
So basically, my wife puts in some time, develops a video, edits it, uploads it, develops a thumbnail, and so forth, and then she gets a paycheck from Adsense. Not only that, but she's also trying to even diversify that income stream with Facebook, Instagram, and so forth, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go on to number 2. Number 2 is profit income. What's profit income? It's basically when you have income from making a profit. This could be your traditional business, brick and mortar business that buys something from a supplier and turns around and sells it to the public at a profit. Another example could be your import-exporter, someone who goes to another country, finds some interesting products and brings it back to another country to sell it for a profit. You even thought about starting your own import-export business, is that right?
Yeah, I wanted to start a business. I'm still in to look to see how everything is going. With COVID, everything is going slow, so I haven't implemented that yet, but I'm planning on doing that.
And what kind of products were you even thinking of?
I'm going to do something my subscribers like. In my channel, I like to do scarf. My subscribers love to see me having my scarf. So I'm thinking maybe selling them scarves, because having a scarf from here, they're nice and they're a little cheap. So yeah,
the scarves and blankets are beautiful here, and they probably sell pretty well over in America.
Yeah.
Another example could be your person who likes to make small crafts and sell them at the flea market. And then we also had a recent video 2 weeks ago where we talked about the online marketplace, where people are buying and selling off of OfferUp or the Facebook marketplace as well. So those are good examples of profit income. So let's look at number 3. Number 3 is residual income. Do you have any idea what residual income means?
From what I know is that the residual means what is left.
Right.
So let's hear it, because residual.
Yeah. Basically, it's when you put in a substantial amount of work up front, and then once you're finished with that work, you're done and you receive all kinds of money later on. A great example could be an author who writes a book. That author might spend weeks or months or even years developing that book. And then once that book is done, that author is pretty much done, and the sales will come in from there on. Another example could be a painter who develops a painting. And that painter will invest in some time developing that painting, and then the sales will come back later on, especially if they make copies of that painting. Those income streams could come on for several months or even several years as well.
It's like building a course too. I was telling my husband, guys, please try to convince this man. She stole my thunder.
Oh,
you want to say that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. No, baby, go sit down. You have kids, that's how you record. So I was telling my husband that he's very talented with this stuff. You should build a course, guys. Is that an example of residual income?
In the digital realm, there's the online courses. Those are real popular, especially with the pandemic going on, where people are developing their own courses online and selling them.
Yeah.
So basically, they're putting a lot of work up front, developing those courses and doing the filming and so forth. Then once they're done with that course, they'll receive income streams later on. Another example could be a computer programmer who develops a computer game. That computer program will spend several hours developing that game and then reap the rewards later on. And then you even participate in residual income. Do you remember?
No. Oh yeah, my cookbook. Yeah, I wrote a cookbook.
Yeah, she's got a cookbook of Botswana recipes.
Yeah, this is the residual income. It still pays me, because some people still buy it.
Yeah. So she put in a lot of time developing these recipes. We filmed them, we photographed them, we did the artwork and the graphic design, and she's selling them on her blog, www.nailcursebaby.com.
Yeah.
So those are examples of residual income. What's another income stream? Rental income. And a lot of people understand this one. This is where you buy a piece of property, you develop it a little bit, and you turn around and you rent it out to someone. Years ago, I rented a 2-bedroom apartment from a man who I think had 40 or 50 different income properties, and that was his full-time gig. Was he seemed to make good money from his rental incomes. Do you know of anybody else who makes money off of rental incomes?
My mom.
Yeah, your mom. Yeah, she's a powerful testimony. You'd like to get her on this channel, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to convince her to share her story, because it will inspire a lot of you guys watching this video. Her story is one of the most inspirational stories out there, but I'm hoping to convince her, or if anything, I'll share her story if she doesn't want to be in camera.
Basically, she was making, what, like $6 a month working in a Chinese restaurant, and then she slowly developed income properties, and now she's doing fairly well, right?
I have babies. I'm parenting, and I'm here.
Yeah, it's raining outside in Botswana, Africa, and so all the boys are inside. So we're trying to corral them while we do this filming of the video. Okay, so that's rental income. The next one is royalty income. Do you have any idea what royalty income is?
No.
Well, it's basically when you develop or you invent something, and you patent it, and then you license it out for other people to manufacture it, sell it, and so forth. Years ago, some friends of mine developed something called the pocket probe, and it was something for law enforcement. And after they got it patented, they tried to license it out to other people, to other companies that does other law enforcement equipment, so that they can turn around and sell it as well. So that's royalty income. The final three are kind of related. It's interest income, dividend income, and capital gains income. And those typically involve the financial markets. Interest income, is a very simple example, is when you deposit money in a bank and you make some interest off of that. Or you can even get a little deeper, invest in the bond market, buy a bond that will yield interest income over the next several years as well. And the next one is dividend income. Do you know what a dividend is?
No, you explain.
Okay.
Good at explaining.
Well, dividend income is something that a company would do with its profits. Okay. Basically, when a company has a profit, they have a choice on whether to pay some of those profits out to the shareholders or to reinvest those profits back into the business. Smaller companies with huge growth potential will oftentimes reinvest their profits back into the company. But larger companies that don't have a whole lot of growth potential will pay out some of those profits to shareholders, and those are called dividends. So that's dividend income. And the final is capital gains income. Capital gains income is when you buy a stock and then at a later time sell it for a profit. Or if you buy a property and later on sell it for a profit and so forth. So that's an example of capital gains. So those are the 8 income streams. And what we would like for you to consider is, or what would be expedient to do, is to add some of these income streams to your own portfolio. And one thing I really want to emphasize is you can't add all 7 of them or add all 8 of them at the one time. This is a pretty big process. So typically when people add income streams, they add them one at a time. And sometimes it could take several months to implement that. So maybe if you're totally reliant on earned income and you want to start dabbling in the profit income, you can maybe make some arts and crafts and go down to the flea market and try it out, try to sell those. Or you can go to the online marketplace, find something that you know is a good value, hang on to it for a short term and turn around and sell it for a profit and start dabbling in that. Obviously, a rental income is going to take a huge amount of money or a larger amount of money. It might take a little time to develop that. But a great goal would be to add 1 or 2 in for this year and then keep adding on to that. So maybe someday you'll have 7 or 8 income streams coming in, and you'll be well diversified to help prevent any catastrophe as well. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to add income streams and so forth. And another thing to keep in mind is as you add income streams, some of those streams might dry up. So you might have to replace income streams as well. So those are two kind of lessons we want to emphasize. Is number one, it takes time to develop them and develop them one by one. And then secondly, understand that some of those income streams might dry up and so forth. So basically, the purpose of this video is to communicate or teach the 8 income streams out there available in society. What are they? Number 1, earned income. Number 2, profit income. Number 3, residual income. Number 4, rental income. Number 5, royalty income. And number 6, 7, and 8, interest income, dividend income, and capital gains income. Why talk about these 8 income streams? To help diversify our income, to help spread out our wealth to prevent catastrophe. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, especially right now during this COVID stuff. As you guys know, a lot of people have lost their jobs. They have to apply for unemployment. And you cannot rely on unemployment if you have lost a job that was paying you enough, because unemployment is not even enough to cover all your expenses. So during this time, I think it's the best time to start diversifying income to get ready for the next one. Because as they say, this may not be the last time people are struggling. This may get worse in the future. So you should be getting ready for the next pandemic or anything like that for you to be able to live. I mean, if we do not diversify our incomes, we will be in trouble right now, especially now we've moved to Africa, to Botswana, and we'll not be able to do that if we not diversify our income. We are on right now working on the rental income because I feel like it's one of the good ones. So keep on watching because we're going to be taking you along because we have more things to show you guys about our investment and all that that you're going to be finding out in the very near future. So guys, I hope I made myself... I hope my kids, I hope I made myself clear, guys. So you want to say anything else?
Stay tuned for our next video.
Tell them how long it took us to record this video with kids. As you see, we can make it work even with kids. So I hope this video is helpful to you guys.
I think the sun's almost ready to go down.
Yeah. Bye-bye, guys.